I was a public education teacher for 10 years. I worked with kids with behavior disorders, kids who really struggled to fit in and be safe in a general education setting. The public education system is a mess. It really, truly is. And I'm on Reddit and I follow the teacher Reddit and also the substitute teacher Reddit. And I can say that it's very frustrating to me to see how much of the compliance-based mindset is still in place. If you're one of those people that feel like what's wrong with kids is adults aren't laying the smack down hard enough, if you're one of those teachers that feels like kids should be expelled for falling asleep in your class, or basically have no patience for behavior. Behavior is communication, okay? The kids are trying to say something, and what they're trying to say is, this whole world is fucked up. We do not feel safe because adults don't have their shit together. Adults aren't taking care of things, so we're scared. That's really what it comes down to. Kids with behavior issues or defiance or whatever in school don't trust adults. Look around, folks. Can you blame them? The compliance-based mindset has to go. That's old school. That was maintaining the patriarchal white supremacist bullshit that formed our school system in the first place. I don't know how it's not glaringly obvious that the public education system in America is not created to give all of these kids the best chance in life to help them fulfill their dreams or reach their maximum potential in their gifts. And I truly believe every single freaking human being has a gift and a purpose, especially neurodivergence and students with very unique needs. Like, there's a reason for all of that, and we have to stop seeing the old standard as the standard of comparison because it's not working. I see so many educators just beating their head against the wall, just being like, this path always worked. This path always worked. I'm going to keep doing that. That hurt. I'm going to keep doing this, right? Ugh. It's like, come on, people, we have to do something different. Okay, here's another rant. So many people are like, these kids are behind. These kids are stupid. Like, seriously, there was a teacher saying, you know what? I think kids are stupid. I think that's what the problem is. So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. The kids are the way they are because of the way the adults have shaped them, right? We're the way we are because of the way the adults shaped us. And we as the adults need to do something different. We need to realize, hey, we created this. How can we remedy this? And it's not just laying the smack down. It's not. So, compliance-based people, they're all over Reddit. Like, kids need consequences. Like, kids need to be punished. Like, some of them are really fucking mean and shouldn't be around children. In a substitute teacher Reddit, they're like asking for behavior advice because they're struggling, because teachers with, master's degrees are leaving education because they're not able to be successful and or keep themselves regulated in the given system. It's failing everyone, okay? Teachers are neurotic. All of the teachers I know, I avoid grocery stores, the gym, Target, Walmart, etc., craft stores in the evenings during the week, especially 4 o'clock-ish, because I know damn well I'm going to run into at least one teacher, and every one of them is going to talk about how they are medicating themselves to just get through the day. Sometimes it's their prescriptions and wine in their basket at the grocery store. Teachers have always held it together. Teachers are scrappy. Teachers by nature typically are nurturers and people pleasers, and we're goody two-shoe students. A lot of us were. Like, we were good at school. We liked school. That's why we are still in school. And so many of those teachers don't understand that not every kid loves school. They can't even fathom the thought that a kid wouldn't love school. It's very, very frustrating. So I worked with kids with behavior disorders, and one of the things I would tell them whenever there was a quality that they had or a good idea that they had about school, and every single one of them had very, very valid feedback about why school really sucks. I learned a lot from those kids. So, I would tell them, you know what? I think you'd be a great teacher someday because you have that perspective. We need more teachers who know what it's like to hate school, to have it not be your favorite place, you know? Because those are the people who are going to make the changes, you know? There are so many people that are so blind to it. There are a lot of teachers with a lot of privilege who really can't comprehend what these kids go through. There are a lot of teachers on the flip side of that too. Don't get me wrong. I'm one of those. But because of that, I was a bad guy in a lot of people's eyes because I didn't lay the smack down. I learned how to work with that kid. My job was to teach kids replacement behaviors so they could get their needs met in a socially acceptable way, and how to get through the frustration and things like that throughout the school day. And part of my job was also working with the other teachers and paras and other adults in the building to teach them how do you work with this kid. I was kind of like a behavior translator, and there were so many teachers that wanted absolutely nothing to do with it. They wanted me to whip that little fucker into shape before he could come anywhere near their classroom again. These adults are like engaging in power struggles with adolescents. You'd be shocked at how many adults have higher expectations of the kids than they do themselves. There's a particular student one year who wasn't getting work done. There were lots of issues. It was very clear that this kid did need extra support. They were right in wanting that and recognizing that in that student. However, I'm in the state of Iowa. I hope it's this way everywhere, but who knows? There's a very strict legal process to go through to label a kid with a disability, aka put them on an IEP. When you put a kid on an IEP, you're labeling them with a disability. In Iowa, they need to be at least 2 years discrepant from their peers, and sometimes it would just be a kid that was so frustrating that until we really looked at the data, they weren't really that discrepant from their peers, because behavior is a gen ed issue now. It's not just a special education issue. There's all kinds of things that are so broad now that they're just not, it's not a small enough population of the kids to be considered special education. So I would go round and round with adults that wouldn't take the data. They wouldn't do it. They refused to do it because why should they do extra work? And I'm like, because you're wanting to label this kid with a disability, and here are the steps to do that. You want the kid to do the work, but what you're telling me is you don't want to do the work that you need to do to get this done. So do you see how there's a double standard there? It was ridiculous. I hope people can start to see that we just need to give kids a fucking break. And what we need to do as educators, as parents, as adults, as any adult who's got a stake in a child's life, if you care about a kid, think about a kid you care about. And think about the 3 qualities you wish for them as they grow into an adult, be an adult. What I think right now the kids need more than reading, writing, and arithmetic is resilience. We need to help them figure out what their gifts are and what their passions are. And we need them to feel safe. So as an adult, what can I do for the kids in my life to make them feel those things? Within day-to-day is, what little bit can I do to bring out maybe a little bit of that? I think we need to start some more homeschool type co-ops. Let's opt out of the public education system that's clearly not working in our favor. It's not, it never has been. It's just now becoming painfully apparent to more of us, not enough yet, but more. We need to network with parents. We need to seek out alternate ways to prepare our kids for their future, to build the resilience and the things that they need coming up as adults, you know. We probably need to teach them how to use weapons. Let's prepare them for a zombie apocalypse and make them feel loved. And let's try to stop eating garbage. Let's do those three things.